Salaam Alaykum. This is Shaykhibrahim Ansari, and today I would like to talk about how to change. Change of any kind, physically, emotionally, or spiritually, requires examining, planning, and work in some form or another. Physically, if I want to change a chunk of land into a garden, for example, I will need to first approach it with a plan. If I was to just assume I could throw seeds into random soil, then I might get a disorganized number of plants, not a garden. Especially if I do not prepare the soil or care for the plants while they grow. This slapdash method may produce one or two viable vegetables or nothing. A working garden needs a plan, action, and then follow through. We first have to know what kind of soil we have, as well as what kind of weather, altitude, and surroundings we're dealing with. Then we can add elements that will bring the soil into a fertile state. Determining the best use of soil for the kind of vegetables we would eat would be next. Then, digging, hoeing, planting, and watering would follow in the proper order. This series of events makes it more possible to reap a good, sustainable crop. This kind of approach is almost exactly the same for any kind of internal shift of awareness. If you want to change a habit, it's like preparing a garden. You need to know what kind of outcome you're aiming for. Random change equals random outcome. First order of business will be to determine what kind of soil we're dealing with. So you ask yourself, what habit do I want to change? And what do I want to change it to? So you notice that you have a habit of interrupting people, for example, and you want to change that to being present and patient enough to allow someone to finish speaking their thoughts or feelings. Well, here we have to add one more element to make this kind of shift. We have to ask, why do I interrupt? This will require some interior sleuthing to get an honest answer. It might be because you fear you will forget what you want to say, or perhaps you're impatient, or maybe you feel you should correct the other person's point of view. This is the time for you to look inside yourself to try and source the seed of trouble. Remember, you can always ask for help. There are many tools available. There's even new ones that are appearing. It could be a therapist of some psychological modality. Maybe even one of the new counseling AIs would do the trick. You have to judge what kind of help you really need, and then go forward with it until you find the root, pull it out, suppress it, or replace it. This may also be the time to consider that you are an experiment. Here you are in a confusing world with a body that is survival-oriented and a heart that seeks love and companionship. Everyone you look at is dancing on the head of paradoxes, which means you have the choice to try out different methods of what works best for you, as well as learning what choices are currently available to try. And this means that there will be mistakes. Mistakes are awesome. They tell us that we have the possibility to learn something new. Through failure and mistakes is how we grow. And if you don't want to grow, hold tight to perfection. It is probably the surest way to become static and begin to atrophy. Because every piece of life and matter is in a state of mutation, alteration, modulation, and reconstruction. So, taking yourself out of the flow of transposition means death. And that is your choice. To enter the flow of continuous remodeling means you are maintaining a vital and vigorous life. To enter the flow of continuous remodeling means you are maintaining a vital and vigorous life. Is there pain, struggle, and hurt? Of course. To transform requires various types of heat. Quote, thermal energy is the kinetic energy of vibrating and colliding atoms in a substance. In the case of personal or spiritual change, we interpret this heat as a kind of pain, struggle, depression, frustration, despair. The purpose of the tool of pain is to activate the necessity to change. Because I hurt, I need to do something to stop the pain. What will end the pain? Love, compassion, and awareness often brings a reduction of torment. Also, sincerity, humility, and honesty. We are talking about the internal or emotional discomfort when you realize you know nothing and are arrogant and conceited, and a lot of other unpleasant understandings. This kind of spiritual thermal energy prompts and initiates a desire to make a change in one's attitude. In terms of Sufism, we basically want to eventually remove everything that thinks it is separate and right, and replace it with honesty, clarity, and love. We're speaking of why we say you must die before you die. Your old self needs to be buried. Have a nice funeral. Say goodbye to someone we were once attached to. You are worthy of this kind of change. You are worthy of love. And I'm not talking about romantic love or woo-woo love or some distant imaginary godlike thing. This is the kind of love that knows that everything, the whole universal package, the galactic circus, it's all connected. And you are part of this. You were born because of love. Spiritually speaking, this is the hard part. To name the source of the problem and then doing something practical and clear-headed to reduce and remove its power over you. And no, there is no shortcut, no drug, no pill, or magic sauce that will do it for you. Because this must be done thoroughly, methodically, and properly. Anything that works quickly will also disappear as quickly. This kind of change must literally alter the wiring in your brain. I have used the word literally. I'm going to tell you what literally means. Actually really, truly, apparently, evidently, obviously, surely, certainly, definitely, positively, absolutely, undeniably, indubitably, unquestionably, indisputably. Changing the brain's neural network requires intention, repetition, rewards, a sense of humor, patience, repetition, practice, repetition, oh yes, and repetition. The result is a permanent alteration and reversal of the habit. It is helpful to have a supportive group of friends when undergoing this reconstruction. Doing this by yourself is already beset with difficulties and problems. You know all those folk tales about the hero setting out on a profound quest to defeat the dragon? Well, they're about this. Anything that requires change through struggle and discomfort will result in change. It is of great consequence to know what the path is and what you wish to accomplish. And then expect to encounter the unknown. We can't predict what demons and memories we're going to face. Nor will we come out of this pretty and nice. There will be blood. There will be heat. You prepare the best you can by having a solid keel of purpose and connection. For Sufis, this is your sheikh or sheikha and the tariqah. They are your lifeline, your connection, and are the keel of the little boat of your soul. Navigate towards Allah. The heart is your compass. The companions are the prophets, dervishes, and saints from all time and from everywhere. If you have any questions, please email me. Thank you. Salaam Alaykum. Salaam Alaykum, murids, seekers, curious, and interested listeners. We appreciate you and are happy to share our Sufi message. Your donation will help support our Sufi Center in Sydney, where we do zikr, sohbet, spiritual counseling, and healing services. We believe the message should be free, but it costs equipment, rental, services, software, and hardware to get this to you. So thank you for choosing our podcast among all the millions available. If you go to our website, ansarisufiorder.org, you will be able to donate through PayPal whatever you think this information is worth to you. Blessings and love, the Australian Ansari Sufi Order.